真的吗？你想清楚了没有
Yeah.
because all the way 去到美国读书嘛，那么你要做就 real estate 有没有？可是想想适合他的性格咯。
Hello, hi, my name is Grace. I'm 28 this year and I'm the head of investments at JNA Real Estate, and this is my mommy.
嗨，我是 Grace 的妈妈，我现在还在做工，我们是做贸易，那么我是帮我的先生，所以在那个办公室做一点点呢账目的东西。
So I own one residential property, a 4-bedder near Lentor area that I bought this year. That's close to about $3 million. How about you?
我很普通的，我只有一间政府主屋。
Do you know how much it's worth?
我的邻居我看他们都在卖大概900多千，可能有些低一点。在那个杜佛路 Dover Crescent.
So she's very happy because one day she said, "Oh, our house almost $1 million already."
有些人应该是有卖了，可是看情况，我们是用来住的啦。
For Lentor itself, it's really from an investment perspective, right? Because I think I have the benefit of staying with my parents, so I don't have to go and worry about finding our own stay home. And I've seen the importance of staying invested in real estate, and that's why I decided to enter into a 4-bedder as early as I can, but still making sure that finances are all checked, numbers are all right, and that's why I decided to invest early this year. How about for you? Why you choose Dover last time?
我有2个小孩子，那么差别是有14个月，就是2个 baby。那么我还要做工。我不知道，我没有去过那个地方，可是我很喜欢。那么因为那边有小学，有中学，有 Pre-U， 有 NUS， 又有 Hospital， 又有 Poly， 价钱是贵了一点点，可是我很喜欢。他很喜欢猫猫狗狗，他要做兽医。读完那个 Pre-U 的时候，他有去那个 clinic。
My dream job when I was young was to be a vet. My initial plan was to go to vet school in Australia after A-levels. But then they needed a recommendation from a local vet. Then I went to intern at a vet for 3 months, if I'm not wrong. And I love everything about it except one part, which is the passing of like when the animal passed away, which is very sad. So my mom see me crying, she said, I think 你不要做 vet 啦，你 just 去赚钱 and then use the money to help the animals. After I graduated, it wasn't something that I enjoyed a lot because it's very desk-bound, it's very rigid, right? So I didn't really enjoy it. And that's when I said, okay, let's explore something new. And that's when I came across Jervis's video. That's when I said, okay, let's do something crazy out of the world. Let's try real estate. Yeah, correct. So that's when I said.
早一点跟我讲，我就不用送他去了。
As the head of investment, steering the investment team in JNA, we mainly help clients invest. So clients that come to us, I think you can see real estate from 2 different points of view, right? Like when my mom bought her house, it was really from her own stay perspective. She loved Dover, she loved all the school, and she think of like planning for the kids' future. But then we also saw the importance of how real estate could really help someone reach their retirement goals, and that's when we say, okay, why not? If people are looking at real estate from an investment point of view, what is the best step they can take? Are there any ways to look through data, through analytics to make sure that your next step is at least something safe and assured so that we can kind of plan for a bigger purpose or a bigger goal for someone's life? Okay, so it's my, I think, 4th year in this business, and I've spoken to so many people, and I've also seen the true importance of being invested in real estate, right? Like my mom always say, I think since young, even though we don't really talk about real estate, she always say, 你现在不买 right, 以后很难买 because real estate gets more and more expensive. So definitely it was a very, very scary experience because it is the biggest purchase of my life, right? But I knew that sometimes you just got to take that leap I think there's a lot of clients or people that we meet is like, they can do it and they know that they have to do it, but it's just that sometimes there's a lot of fear. And I think the fear is real because after all, for families especially like my mom, you have kids to feed, you have a lot of mouths to feed. For me, I only have 2 cats to feed. I don't have a lot of mouths to feed. So I think my commitment level is not very high. And very thankful that I can still stay with my parents, right? So that is another consideration that's off my mind. And that's when I say, okay, then why not start early? And if I'm in this industry and I know the numbers well, and I know that it's safe, then just make sure that your financials is all set aside.
会怕啦，这样贵的，这样贵的。可是他从小他就有自己的 planning， 自己看顾自己打算，那么要相信哦，相信了呀。
So to date, JNA has served more than 700 over investment clients, and I think after meeting so many people, the best thing that I get out of it is when they gain clarity. Because I know a lot of people that come to us, they know that they have to make a purchase, they know that they have to stay invested. It's just that they come in very confused, so they don't know when, they don't know how. It's like if you were to put me into another industry, let's say insurance industry, I've got no idea. Like I know I need to buy insurance, but I got no idea what to buy. So I feel comforted in knowing that when these people make their purchase, they make it with peace, they make it with clarity in what they want. So we kind of ask them, hey, do you have like a dream home that you have? Do you have like a retirement goal that you have? Then we see how JNA Investments can kind of plan out through your real estate to help you achieve that goal. So.
不要乱花啦，花该花的东西啦，也不是要说省到哪里啦，应该花就花，应该省就省，要 plan for 将来不好的时候嘛，需要的时候最好是能买一个屋子啦。
Yeah, so we don't talk about it, but through their hard work, they work long hours to put food on the table. And one thing I really learned is that just be good at what your work is. Moving forward, for JNA Investments is not just to focus on what is the next best purchase, right? Not just on a short-term basis, hey, what's the next cycle going to look like? But it's really impacting our clients' life from a whole, because we realize that it's always transaction after transaction, but nobody really sits down to say, hey, like in 30 years when you want to retire, how much do you want to retire with? So I think that's something that we've sat down with the team and really talked about it, and we say, we really feel strongly for it, because even when I ask my parents, say, hey, all they say is 我要退休了 but I say 怎样退休你有没有算过 and they say no, which I feel is something that's not talked about openly. Everybody is chasing after the next best investment product, but nobody really talks about, hey, in 30 years time we want to retire, how am I going to do that exactly? So I think for the investment team, that's the direction that we're going. How do we journey with someone, again, to give them clarity in their wealth, right? Not just like chasing highest profits after highest profits, but really planning out, say, okay, exactly how much I really need, and if I've set aside, then what are the extra, with the extra funds that I have, what then can I do with that?
不要花过我赚的啦，不要花过我赚的啦，最好是能屋子已经买了，什么都有了，然后还好吧，就God bless.
For me, is to not be afraid of money, right? People always see money as all roots of evil, but you also see the beauty in the things that money can do, and the things that on helping other people with it. I think the stigma on money should be taken away on really how are you going to steward the wealth that you're going to get in a proper way. So rather than stay and steer away from the topic of money, why not embrace the topic of money to really talk about it openly, especially with even like our family members also.
他自己长大，自己学习，自己做自己应该做的东西。那么他有至少学会一点独立，好像他在外国很多年，他自己独立，那时很小呀，真的很开心哦，孩子自己现在想回去哦，挺吓人的。我那时没有想到哦，我做工的时候，他们去考试，哇，还好他们没有 miss 全部的考试，全部都有考上。因为等一下因为我不会问他考试几时，你几点还是什么。那么我现在想回去，哇，挺幸运的，我的孩子每个考试都有去考啊，没有 miss 到，没有说在家里 overslept。
such a big question on why, right? And I think my why in whatever I do is really my faith, in trusting in God that how are we going to steward the resources that He has given us, right? That I'm very blessed to be where I am, what I'm doing, the people that I'm working with, the clients that we are meeting. So my why is not to take for granted everything that has been given and to really steward it in the way that God wants us to do it. So really finding out what His purpose is for us and really just going towards His direction.
我点一下，爸爸你做这个 ，Grace 你做那个，哇，每个不要会讲 no 的，每个一样一样做，然后我就翘脚在那边看着他们做，呀 ，Superpower， 每个都听话，不会讲 no， 呀，因为一上来是我在做家务，所以我也希望有一天我坐在那边看他们做家务。
Okay, if I have a superpower, I think it's to free up people's time, to let them do what they want to enjoy and what they are happy with. For me, I think Singapore very hard. I want to live on a farm. I want to live on a farm with all the new young and cats
每次出去 都是去 dog cafe, cat cafe 去 farm 去看羊，他没有很少走 shopping 的，每次去他都是去这些地方。
That's my dream house lah. Okay, how about you? What's your dream? Your dream house?
OK 啦，简单的家啦，开心的一家人住在一起，很容易。
I think in the past I was more on a saver because that's what my parents taught us, right? That's what we grew up knowing. Say, hey, save as much as you can. And until I came into this industry and I realized that actually investing is also very important. Then that's when I think I pivoted to now being an investor. Really knowing, say, okay, with this amount of money that you have, rather than put it in a bank and say, what can you do to grow it? But of course, not say throw everything out, right? To say, okay, set this thing aside and everything that's extra, how do I then grow it in a safe manner, lor. I don't know.
他没有洁癖，他很乱。可是他会做他要做的东西，那么他不要做的东西，他就会很乱。
Need chaos.
Yeah.
I know where my stuff are.
Yeah.
Definitely my mentors and my leaders that groomed me, right? I think what I really appreciated was when I first met Jervis and when I first came into the industry, he didn't sugarcoat the whole thing. I think in this industry, people show the good light of things. They show the flashy cars, they show the watches, they show the wealth that you make in the industry, but nobody shows you the nights that you're going to spend working. You're going to come at 11. When you first started out, especially as someone so new, you're not going to have it. Your friends are not at the stage where they're going to be buying like $2-3 million houses from you. So where are you going to find these clients? And I'm glad that my mentors didn't sugarcoat this and that they say that yes, if you want to come into this industry, you have to put in the hard work and nothing is going to be easy for you. And I think that really shaped my perspective on what real estate is going to look like right from the start, and that really helped me grow. So I'm very thankful for the patience that they have for me because I didn't study real estate. And it's very new because I don't have anybody in the family that is from real estate also. So I really, really appreciate the time that they took to basically groom me from someone new to leading the investment team today at JNA. %100% live with my parents. Because I think people will ask me before, like, okay, are you planning to like move out, right? Like rent a space to like live independently? Then I got to think about it, like, because I've experienced living myself in the US before when I was studying over there. It's nice. It's just that I feel like if I live alone and I go home and there's nobody, it's just very sad. I mean, I have my 2 cats, right? But then other than that, there's nobody. And I won't have anybody to cut fruits for me. I won't have anybody to cook. If my mom just did, she cooked porridge. Okay, I'll insert one photo of our porridge so that she cook later on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he come back. She chose to come back Singapore.
Yeah. That's why I decided to come back, right? Because, I mean, I already had enough fun 5 years in the US going on like road trips and everything. Yeah, and then after that, I'm thinking, but all my family is in Singapore and nobody is here in the US. And that's when I say, okay, like in the long term run, I think family still matters a lot to me.